Alright, this is just going to be a very quick tutorial on all the steps that you need to set up before you run your first Facebook ad. Specifically, I'm going to show you how to implement the conversion tracking pixel as well as the retargeting pixel. Okay, and so what I've done right here is I've created a brand new Facebook account, and this is the way it's probably going to look for you if you've never run a Facebook ad before. And just a couple of things to keep in mind as you're watching this tutorial video. Facebook just has this tendency to change around its user interface practically every other month or so. So the things that I'm teaching you and where to click and that sort of thing may change from time to time, but the actual descriptions of the buttons most likely will not change. Okay, and so first things first, go to the upper right and click on Create Ads. And it'll take you to this page where it's going to ask you what type of ad you want to create. Now, these setup procedures that I'm going to go through in this video need to be done before you run any ads, but the problem is that Facebook always asks for you to create your very first ad right off the bat. And so what I'm going to suggest that you do is that you actually create a dummy ad. In other words, go ahead and complete the ad creation process, but then pause the ad so that you're actually not spending that much money on it. On the left here are all the different types of ads that you can buy, and I kind of alluded to some of these in the intro video that I did earlier. Clicks to websites are ads that simply drive clicks to an external website. Website conversions is the type of ad that we're going to be running primarily in this course, where you actually tell Facebook what your conversion goal is, and then you buy ads that take them to your site, and then Facebook actually measures your performance of the goal that you're trying to achieve. And then there's page post engagement and page likes, where you're actually kind of paying for engagement to your actual Facebook fan page. But for the purposes of today's video, I'm going to teach you how to install the conversion pixel and the retargeting pixel, both of which need to be in there before you can actually set up your actual Facebook ad. Okay, so I'm just going to choose website conversions here. And you should enter in the URL that you're trying to promote. I'm just going to use google.com. Okay, and then it's going to ask you, if you've never launched an ad before, a conversion ad before, it's going to ask you what type of conversion you actually want to measure. Okay, and so the different options are checkout, registrations, leads, adds to cart, and that sort of thing, depending on what you want to measure. Most likely for this class, you're going to want to be measuring checkouts or purchases. So go ahead and select checkouts. And then I'm just going to name this goal checkouts. And then I'm going to click on this Create Pixel button. Okay. Then you want to click on I can add the pixel to my site. And then here's the code that you need to copy over and install on your site. So just a couple of tips on installation. You only want to install this piece of code on the actual checkout success page of your site. Not on any other page, only on the page where a customer has successfully made a purchase or whatever goal that you're actually trying to measure. And I thought I'd just point out this very important measure here. There's this value parameter as part of the JavaScript code that they're going to give you. Make sure that you actually enter in algorithmically the actual order value that the customer is checking out with. So for example, if you recall the tutorial that I did on AdWords conversion, there was some source code that I had you add to OpenCart so that you could pass the order value information over to AdWords. This is the exact same thing with Facebook advertising. You want to pass the total order size over to Facebook so that you can accurately measure the ROI of your Facebook campaign. Now, if you're on Shopify or BigCommerce, you can contact them and they'll help you through the process. If you're on OpenCart, you can actually use similar code that I've already presented for Google AdWords. Okay, and so just keep that in mind and make sure this code only goes on your checkout success page. And with that, I'm going to continue. Now, the unfortunate aspect of this is that it actually won't let you continue past this point unless it's already detected that you've successfully installed the tracking pixel. Okay, so for the purposes of this demo, just to get past the fact that Facebook forces you to create an ad before it'll expose you to the entire interface, I'm just going to create a bogus ad here that'll just a plain old clicks to website ad. And I'm going to send it to google.com. And I'm going to create my bogus ad. So Part of the process of creating a bogus ad is that you need to upload an image that's 1200 by 628 pixels. So I've prepared a bogus image to upload. And the other thing that you need to have is you need to make sure you have a Facebook fan page in order to proceed. If you do not have one already, I suggest you create one, otherwise you won't be able to run the ad. You can leave everything else alone and just go ahead and click on Place Order. Okay, and then it's going to ask you for your payment information and that sort of thing. And once you've entered it in, you've created your first ad, and then you need to immediately pause it so that you're not actually spending money on it. Okay, and then once you've actually had your ad account and everything approved, then you can go on to the next step, which is to add your retargeting pixel. Okay, and so for the purposes of that, I'm going to go and show you my actual Facebook page to show you the remainder part of the presentation. Okay, so this is my actual Facebook page, and what I'm going to do is, once you create that first bogus ad, you're going to have this new tab that's called Manage Ads. So you're going to click on that, and then you need to click on Audiences. And so for the purposes of this part of the demo, I'm going to show you how to add the retargeting pixel to your site. And so what you want to do is you want to create an audience, select Custom Audience, and just to give you a high-level overview of what we're doing here is we're trying to add a tracking pixel so that you can actually track all the customers who have visited your website. And then after that, you can choose to run ads that specifically target the people who have already been on your website. Okay, and so once you choose to create an audience, you're going to be presented with a bunch of these options. So the first option is a data file. And basically what this is you're uploading essentially your email address book to Facebook, and then you can target your email users directly. Or you can create a custom audience for your website, which involves a tracking pixel where you can retarget your ads specifically to people who have already visited your site. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. Okay, and I've already actually set up several audiences here, so it's not going to ask me to install a tracking pixel, but when you first do it, it's going to ask you to install a tracking pixel on your site. And if it doesn't ask you for it, you can click on this little icon here and click on View Pixel Code, which will display the actual code you need to install on your site. So what you need to do here is you need to take this code and you need to install it on every single page of your online store. Okay, and so usually that means putting it either in the header or the footer. And I just want to make this distinction because it's very important. Unlike the conversion pixel, which only goes on your checkout success page, this particular pixel needs to go on every single page of your site. Okay, and usually that's going to be either in your header or your footer of your site. And once you've installed that, then Facebook's going to begin gathering data about everyone who's landed on your site. And then using that information, you can actually retarget your ads for those customers who have already been to your site. It's actually very powerful because people who have visited your site are far more likely to buy from you. Okay, and so those are the two pixels that I want you to install first, and then in a subsequent lesson I'm going to walk you through the process of actually creating a Facebook ad.